some people say that we are too ambitious. Sometimes they say that we are too picky. Actually, we just call it knowing our worth.
We have to enhance or maybe strengthen the paradigm that the investment will always give us something fruitful.
But in this generation, it is about why we make money, how we make money, how do we reduce that sense of inequality.
So I think how the workplace giving that opportunity for every employee and make sure that their needs is fulfilled.
Hi Ferizzians, welcome back to Ferizyan Talks Season 2, Episode 1. If this is your first time tuning in, first of all, where have you been? Second of all, you are very lucky because today's podcast is very great. We are going to talk about something very important for Gen Z. And I'm Qynthara Al Qarana, your host for today. And now, today's topic is about how state-owned enterprises, or we know as BUMN, attract Gen Z and become a place to grow, learn, and develop. Now, let's be real. Gen Z, we don't just want a job. We want growth, we want purpose, we want a good environment. And the big question is, are BUMN keeping up with this demand? So, well, we've got 3 amazing guests today who are going to help us figure it out. Let's meet them. First up with me is Dimas Ramadansyah. He's the Manager of Agreements and Legal Relations at ASDP. Hello, Mas Dimas. Thank you for coming.
Okay, sure. Hello.
Okay, Mas Dimas, what's really cool about him is about your journey, that you are an LPDP graduate, scholarship graduate. So, and now you are in a leadership position in ASDP, right? So, can you share to us more about that?
Okay. Thank you, Qynthara. So I've been in this company in ASDP for like approximately 7 years by now. So I start my journey from bottom, from the officer position, and then I get promoted into analyst, and then by assistant manager, and I get seconded into the subsidiary of the company. So like the learning journey. And then I also have opportunity to promote it again as the fleet procurement manager. So my career is not about the legal, but also another function, package procurement. And then now I'm being entrusted in the legal manager of ASDP. And previously, like Qynthara said, I've been just finished my master degree study in Australia, in Sydney, by support of ASDP and also LPDP scholarship from the government of Indonesia.
Okay, wow, what a great journey. And Mas Dimas, what I wanted to know, what major did you choose for that LPDP scholarship?
Okay, it's basically Master of Law because my bachelor is also in law. My focus is basically on corporate commercial law, especially in the law of the sea, as we are shipping company and it's very relevant with our works daily. So I think I get many best practices from Australia to be implemented here in Indonesia, especially ASDP.
Wow, great. Okay, give applause. Okay, so next we have Mas Tegar Maulana, Manager of HR Development Strategy at ASDP. Hello, Mas Tegar. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, Mas Tegar, as we know that you are in charge of development strategy at ASDP, right? Which we all know that ASDP operates all across Indonesia with so many different cultures, with so many work environments, and of course, both land and sea employees. So, how do you feel about that?
Okay, thank you, Qynthara. ASDP have a very unique environment with 2 kind of employees, as you said, in the land and the ship.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to ensure every group are having the same opportunity to growth. So the main duty of my job today is to ensure that our program is fit with the needs of our employee. So I think that's the very interesting thing on my current duty.
Oh, I see. Okay. And we want to know, like your previous work experience before in this current position. Can you tell us more about that?
Okay. In ASDP, I start on the position as HR senior analyst, but on the other company, I have experience on managing the mentoring program and assessing employee competencies, how to develop, and then how to coaching many leaders to have a good or the best approach with Gen Z. That's the one of the best experience I ever had. So I think it is an art to have an approach how the leader dealing with Gen Z in the workplace.
Yeah, and we're gonna dive into that more in our second segments, but that's really impressive to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, and now, last but not least, Ms. Evelyn Kwek, Managing Director of Great Place to Work. Hi, Ms. Evelyn. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me. Hello, selamat pagi, everyone. Really honored for me to be a guest, speaking amongst very experienced, very people with credentials, to show how they can speak about this topic. So thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, and I wanted to say, welcome to our office. What do you think?
This is beautiful. It's really nice. We were just walking in the lobby earlier on. We said this is a very nice office, and enjoying your digital poster that we saw on the lift that had this poster about brain rot. And I said, this is an office with the employees, the organization speak the language of Gen Zs. They use the word brain rot.
Yeah. And we are also, getting the we can see that it's a great workplace. Yeah, so you are agree with that, yeah, of course.
Totally, yes.
Okay, Ms. Evelyn, now you've been helping companies build great experience for the best work cultures for years, I believe. But before this, you had experience working in the other industries as well, I believe. Could you tell us a bit about your journey, like what led you to be in your current position?
Sure. How much time do you have?
We have
because I am Gen X, you are Gen Z, so the life I've lived is a lot longer. But jokes aside, in my university, I chose to study human resources, and it was as a time many Gen Zs you'll probably be seeking, what do I do in life? What's my purpose? And back in university, I went by the process of elimination. I told myself I didn't like numbers, so banking is out. I didn't like selling things, so marketing was out. And I said I actually like people, and that's how I chose my human resources major in my university days. But surprisingly, after I graduated, I started my career. Believe it or not, I was a tax collector. I work with the Singapore Inland Revenue Authority of Singapore. We collect taxes. And when fresh 21-year-old out of university, my HR department dad put me in the department to collect taxes that is being owed to the government by people who had not paid taxes for 20 years, 30 years. And my job was to call them, and my job was to freeze their bank account. My job was to go to their employers and say, this guy has not paid money, please give us taxes. So that was my career. But really, my interest in culture started back in the organization. We're about 2,000 strong. Eventually, I moved to the HR department and started doing work around culture, around employee engagement, around working with leaders for them to be effective to engage their people. And that made me really, really excited. And I saw how much power there could be when leaders are good at engaging their people, where the culture is one where it's healthy, where people are happy to work. I saw firsthand what it meant to the people on the ground, and that started my lifelong journey on building workplace culture. And that's where I am today.
Wow. Can we give applause for that? really long journey, but you can, like share to us for the Gen Z as well, great Ferizzians out there in a, like short period of time. So it's really great. Thank you so much. And well, I already love them, but now let's get into the real talk. So today we are going to talk about how BUMN attract and keep young talent. So it's not only about attracting the Gen Z, but also how to keep them stay for like a long period of time, and what they're doing to support career growth. And most importantly, are BUMN meeting Gen Z's expectations? So let's get into it. Okay, let's dive into the real talk right now. Well, people out there say that Gen Z is changing on how workplace works. Like Gen Z have different expectations, they have different work styles, and they're definitely not afraid to question the old ways of working. And some people say, as you know, that I am also Gen Z, so some people say that we are too ambitious. Sometimes they say that we are too picky, but actually we just call it, like knowing our worth. So let's break it down. What do you guys think about this real Gen Z phenomena? Maybe I can start with Mas Dimas.
Okay, I think it's very important for the organization to have like a treatment to how to treat any kind of generation, because any kind of generation have like different style, you say it, and Gen Z is kind of very different with other generation, you say it. But I think the key is basically flexibility, because Qynthara said you are Gen Z, but I'm personally a millennial, but into transition is Gen Z. So I think I can little bit understand how the demand of the Gen Z, but I think the key is basically flexibility. So how the organization give them flexibility to the worker, especially the Gen Z. Like especially in example in SDP we have like kind of the mixture of the flexibility working arrangement and like open work policy, because I think basically not only about generation, but each of us have a different style of how we work and complete our tasks. So I think how the workplace giving that opportunity for every employee to give open and make sure that their needs is fulfilled. I think that's flexibility is the key.
Okay, but so flexibility is the key, and we're gonna keep that in mind. And do you feel like like working in BUMN, do you feel like there's like a gap between the Gen Z, and you say that you are late millennials, and also we believe there are boomers as well. Do you feel that?
I think I refer to the company profile that basically here on ASDP we are consists of 70% millennials. By 2022 we are 70% millennials and 30% of Gen X and then other generation. But I think since we are in 2025 right now, Mas Tegar know the data, but I think it's about like the Gen Z employees number is growing. But I think it's like basically the other key I think I forget to mention is Gen Z like to about the diversity. Like the diversity is the key, because any diversity is any difference, and we can combine all the chemistry into building a great company or great place to work, like as Evelyn said. So I think the key is basically flexibility and diversity, because the collaboration between generation and also how we can combine all the powers, the power of flexibility of Gen Z and also the power of, let's say, the Gen X about their any wisdom. So we can really mix all that up, and between that there's a millennial. So I think it's become a great example. And I think referring to millennial itself, it can be a perfect glue between the Gen X and also Gen Z, because the millennial is a transition, I think.
Okay, that's a really great answer. Okay, thank you. And I want to see from Mas Tegar's perspective, like how do you see that happening in BUMN or maybe in ASDP, as we all know that you are an HR Development Strategy, right? How do you see that?
Okay. First of all, I do agree with Mas Dimas said that it is flexibility that become the main characteristic of Gen Z or the younger generation. In addition to that, I think it is also need to be highlighted that the young generation are digital natives. So we have to adjust our culture, become fit in with their habits since they were born. They are interact very intensive with digitalization or maybe internet and other kind of that. So it should be the part of our culture in the company, so they feel at home, because we spend maybe 8 to 10 hours a day in our workplace. So I think it is become something that we have to highlight also. And the number of 30% about the Gen X, it is also a worldwide number. So not only in ASDP, I think it is should be our concern. The number growing year by year. So I think we have to anticipate with the culture, with the system. And maybe I have to mention one characteristic from Gen Z. Also, they are expecting to have a clear progression in their growth, in their personal growth or professional growth, and also how they have a clear progression on their career. I think we have to also prepare the system to support that kind of need.
Okay, so technology savvy, and then as well as personal growth.
Yes.
Yep. All right. And Ms. Evelyn, in your experience, like we've heard about from these gentlemen, but I want to see in your experience what really makes young people or young employees stay beyond just the salary.
Thank you for your perspective, gentlemen. I really echo the point of view. I think it's very easy, especially for me as a much older person, to say, why are Gen Zs this way? Why are they strawberry generation? They're so easily bruised. And we like to label it because it's an easy way for us to brush off behaviors that are different. It's very important for us to understand for Gen Zs, they are digital natives. What that means is that I read somewhere that the online world is the real world. For us who grew up in my generation, this wasn't a thing. I grew up in the real world, right? But in the young generation, all that they have is their views, their values, their aspirations are shaped by what everyone is saying in this small little screen. And now they can hear from a lot more people, not just within Indonesia, but also in regionally, Southeast Asia, and globally. What makes young people stay? I think if you look at the global phenomenon, young people globally are now saying, beyond money, what's next, right? Is this idea about profit over purpose? Do we just go for profits? Do we just go for material wealth? What is the purpose of my existence? So it's important for the organizations, as we have such a big proportion, and in your case about 70 million. Indonesia, you have what they call the demographic bonus. You have such a vibrant and such a growing population of young people that are coming up. It's important for us to be able to connect the dots. In my parents' generation, in my generation, it's about making money. But in this generation, it is about why we make money, how we make money, how do we reduce that sense of inequality? I read in a research report for Indonesia, the youth, what is the top concern? One of the top concerns for them is social and economic inequality. And if you make money at the expense of other people, they may not feel so good about that. So it's important for us to connect the organization purpose with the young people's values, for them to understand how them as an individual, how they are part of a bigger picture. If my job is a legal assistant in the legal team, how does what I do every day connect to the success of ISDP? The ability to show that is important. There are many things. Well, how do we keep them? Leaders, the leaders I work for, can I respect you? Do you care for me as a person, or do you treat me as just a head count, a digit? I'm just an asset, a resource, I'm a thing. Or do you see Evelyn? Wow, I care for Evelyn. Evelyn is not just a legal assistant of the team, but Evelyn also has a parent staying with her, maybe 3 generation grandparents. Evelyn has got 2 other siblings. Evelyn is a whole person. The ability to recognize their values, their aspiration. You said something at the start that caught my eye, my ears. You said, Gen Zs, we just know our worth. We know our value. You know, the ability for the manager to say, I really know your value and your worth. I know that you are more than what you can do. The ability to show genuine care and concern, I think that goes a long way to be able to keep Gen Zs, because they are growing in a world that's so much happening, so much changes, so much wars and rumors of wars. And for you to show that I care for you, for you to show that I'm here to support you, I'm interested in your growth and development, I think that will mean a lot to them.
I also agree with that thing. I mean, as a Gen Z, we all will really, put that in mind that, when our mentors, when our bosses caring, not like taking care of us, but more likely to care about us. It's not just only about work related, but not kepo. That is not kepo, that thing. But then we're having the feel of we're gonna have belonging things,
someone to care about. Yeah, and we must remember the Gen Zs. They came into the workforce during the post-pandemic period. Right? They grew up, they graduated in a pandemic. Everything happened in a home space. And maybe many of them started work at home. They were onboarded at home. And they do not have the opportunities like us who are the Gen Ys and the Gen Xs. The office environments where we come together and we are well supported, well mentored as we transit into workforce. For them, they went from an online world, being isolated, to a world where they're coming back to the workplace right now, and they have to learn to navigate. It can be a lot going for them. And this is in a time where there's hyperinflation, in a time where there's digitalization. Now all this talk about AI, is a lot happening. And I believe that Gen Zs, as cool as they look on the outside, as much as they feel I'm independent, I know it all, I'm smart, I think they would appreciate a mentor come alongside them and say that you are cool, go do your thing, I know that you are capable, but you know what? I'm also here. I've got your back. If you've got questions, come and ask me, I'm here. So the ability to recognize their value and their worth, not enter in their space, but also say, I'm in the background, I'm right here. That would mean a lot to them.
Wow. Okay. We're just getting into the first question, but we can gather all of those information like a really big thing. Okay, here, this is a big one because you said earlier that it's all about flexibility as well. Okay, Mas Tegar, some say Gen Z is all about setting boundaries, because we're growing up in the transition of pandemic and then post-pandemic, and while older generations say that we just don't want to work hard. Okay, are we lazy or are we just prioritizing our well-being? Okay, so how do you see this playing out in ASDP maybe, or in your workplace? How do you see that?
Okay, maybe I would share my experience, and this is what Mas Dimas has said earlier, that we have to collaborate. I mean, the Gen Z will need creativity, room, and how to express themselves on their ability. But on the other hand, Miss Evelyn has said that they also appreciate how the mentorship are given to them. So it is our role as a leader to knowing the right portion, how to treat them, how we can give a room for their creativity, in the other side, maybe there's some point that we have to stand up as a mentor, as an advisor, or maybe as a friend for them. And this is about the art of leadership that we have to play as a team leader of the Gen Z. I think.
Okay, but then do you see like we know it as hustle culture?
Yes.
Hustle culture, is that still a thing in like BUMN or ASDP?
I think the possibility are open, because they feel that they have another ability to be expressed, and they will looking for a channel to express their ability. So the company should also open that opportunity inside the building of their office. So I think this is the good one, how we have a podcast and identifying the talent in our internal environment. So we can also facilitate what become the demand of the Gen Z. So I think it is also related with the flexibility that has been mentioned before.
Okay, really agree with that. Okay, Miss Evelyn, still about this work-life balance and hustle culture as well. What do you think is the biggest misunderstanding about Gen Z's approach to work-life balance?
I think the biggest misunderstanding is that they are lazy. There's this understanding that because they want more than work, more in life other than work, that we label them as lazy. If you think about that, I can't think of a generation, but I can't think of a generation that is more willing to pursue multiple side gigs outside of work. What they want is that I want to have a say and a control in my life. Things that feel very expensive. I need to find multiple streams of income. They are also wanting to be able to have a way to express themselves. If you look at in Indonesia, what's the most popular social media platform? TikTok. Short reels. What does it mean? They want an outlet to express themselves. They want to be able to be creative. They want to have a say in things. They want to not be pigeonholed as one identity. They want growth. What they also see is that I've seen my older generation, my Gen X boxers, my parents, they work so hard and they're tired. What for? What's the purpose? I see my parents come back home after they work and they sit down there and they complain about the work, they complain about the bosses and they're upset and they earn a lot of money and they said, do I want to be like them next time? No, I want to take control over my life, right? Just because their views are different, because they're exposed to more things, does not mean they're lazy. I agree with you. I think it is an art. I think that leaders today need to realize that it is about what I call human-centered leadership. Leaders of the past focus on how do I maximize resources to get results. It is a very industrial era kind of leadership, right? It is about managing tasks, command and control. I say this, you do that. As a boss, what I want is predictability, stability, results. Nothing else matters. Those are the leadership in the past that are successful, that gets results that will please shareholders and stakeholders. But today, because we have such a multifaceted environment and Gen Zs with different expectations, we can no longer just have a command control. When my kids were young, I've got 3 children. When my kids were younger, I do it because I say so. And as a parent, it's so much easier to be that way. Because mommy says so, do 1, do 2, do 3. And as a mom, I had to learn when my kids grow older to be, I've got 3 kids, my oldest 2 are teenagers, 19, 18, and 11 years old. And as a parent growing up, one of the biggest lessons I have to learn as my girls became teenagers was to give up control. It's easier to say, do it because I say so. But as they grow older, how do I influence them? How do I put myself in their shoes? How do I lead them by soft power and not by hard power? And therefore, leaders today have to learn to lead the Gen Zs by soft power. not because I say so, I'm under boss and the title. They may do it, but they'll do it very grudgingly. But if I dare to put their heart, their soul, their creativity, you have to influence them so that they do it because they want to, not because they have to. Right? And that is by speaking their language, understanding their values, what matters to them, what's important to them. And we have to move away from just about great stability and predictability to not just engaging the heart, but the head, but to engage their heart and their soul. And it's not easy. I'm the first to say I'm not easy. If my daughters are watching this episode, they're like, you're not like that. You are command and control. But there's a desire to want to do that. But it's not means that it's easy for us bosses. You know, you are Ben wise. Maybe it's easier for you. But for the older bosses, it's not easy to transit into that because we were brought up in the era. In the past, I'm not sure about here, but in the past, if I'm in the office at 8:35 a.m., even if I work till 10 p.m. the night before, my boss will give me a look. Today, I'll be happy if my colleagues all come to work at 9 a.m., right? But that's just how the world is. And how do we get them to want to do it? Not just because they have to do it.
Exactly. That's the thing. We all agree on that because, you know, nowadays, that thing that you still have the power as a leader, but it's got to be the soft power.
That's right.
Soft power. Okay. For Mas Dimas, have you ever had a moment where you had this to you know, like set boundaries at work? Have you feel that experience kind of thing?
Yeah, I think it's very good of the principle of the young generation, how they set boundaries in work and they have like a complete balance of the work-life balance. Because Evelyn said before, the problem of the previous generation or the older generation is how they get burned out from work and like they just complaining when they're coming home. But like I think it's how the art of giving the boundaries. But we know that we as the leader of the organization also have a responsibility, but how to balance it. We know that the perfect boundaries is like how we really create the, boundaries that is flexible. That is, we have that boundaries, but we can adjust it at our time based on the path or how the demand of our work. Sometimes like we know that there's a month that we can get, we can have a prediction of the time that we can have more like leave or like flexible work arrangement outside the office. We can take it and get more relaxed. But I think like we as DP, as we know that we are shipping company that getting very busy during peak time of like Eid or Christmas or New Year, we should know that responsibility that we can get really that boundary fixed, because we know we company have a responsibility to serve the people. BUMN is not like the other kind of company that we only chase for profit. We are the public service generator. So I think as we are working BUMN and we have like main mission to develop our nation, to have like flexible boundaries is the key, because without that, I think, everything's changed and we need to flexible and be agile.
Okay, so it is not only about setting boundaries, we still set the boundaries, but we still have a commitment to our responsibilities, right? And I believe that you highlighted as well we are more likely to prioritize the work and the life as well. Okay, great.
If we add in, I think Gen Zs are also asking, is work meaningful? If you keep making me work overtime and the work is meaningless, for example, I keep making changes and updating draft or the bureaucracy or red tape, to them is, why am I working so hard to do something that's meaningless because of red tape? And that's why they maybe want to draw the boundaries. In the past, maybe we feel that way, but we don't dare to speak up. But the Gen Zs are more willing to speak up and say, I don't want to do this.
Qynthara, if I may add, I think this is also the value of us to work in BUMN, because we have clear value that we develop the nation as our motto, we bridge the nation. So we have that clear value that is very useful for the community, very useful for the nation. We have the noble purpose not only about the profit, but also to connect the nation with our service.
Well, I think it is interesting to connect about the purpose.
Yeah.
Gen Z are purpose driven.
That's
right. So I think how to being flexible on the boundaries itself. We have to link this things. I think. I mean, how we encourage our younger generation to have an initiative. In my experience, again, I have to confirm to them, are you really want to, I mean, like offer time, they offer to offer time, or maybe getting tasks done at the weekend. I have to make sure, is it okay for you? If it is okay, I mean, it is your initiative.
Yeah.
Again, it is not about what we ask to them, but they offer to the team.
Yeah. It means to respect their time.
Yes.
Their sense of feeling respected is what they
Exactly.
Not that they're willing to work overtime, but when you ask them, they feel seen and they feel heard.
Yes, and it is the opportunity to the leaders showing their respect, their appreciation.
That's right.
Is it okay? If you're okay with that, so okay, I'm okay with that. But it has become the interaction that naturally built up in the team.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not only flexibility on the young employees, but also the leader as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, so and let's get real. Gen Z, they wanted the work-life balance, but they do want the purpose and personal growth, as you said before. We want career growth. We want it, like now, right? But in structured environment like BUMN, promotions and leadership role, I believe it can take time. So, Mas Tegar, if a Gen Z employee came to you saying, I want to be promoted in a year, what would you say?
Okay, we have to again choosing the right approach to communicate with them, so we can get the engagement with their need, their demand to the organization. So we can do like a short checkup with their condition. We know that they came to us to tell us the destination. We can check the journey, or even we can check the current position with what you have now. Something that should be combined on the job-related skill, human skill, and also what their vision to their future position. I mean, it is not only the destination, but we can create the commitment so they can build and enjoy the journey to finish the journey.
Okay, what are like initiatives or programs that ASDP have to support that personal growth?
Okay, on many level, we encourage them to show the best potential that they have. So maybe the entry level position are challenged to the tasks that may be high complexity, or maybe should interact with many stakeholders. It is how we develop our younger generation to be ready on that next position. So I think it is also again we have to see it as a journey, not only about the aspiration and the destination.
Yeah, but I believe ASDP has also the like supporting you to go to get your LPDP, right? How do you feel about that? The kind of support for your personal growth.
Yeah, I think I can share a little bit about my journey. So pursuing master degree abroad is my dream since my undergraduate studies. I really aspire that, but after like work for like 5 years, there's like, yeah, it's a normal, like we have 5 years in the same environment to, yeah, asking about what's next. Then I come back again, and one of the leaders at SDP said that when you will get a master degree, you say to me that like few years ago you want to get master degree abroad. Oh, really? Is there a change? And then, yeah, by supporting by Tegar and HR team, we create an arrangement where basically now we have that continuous learning policy where ASDP give the opportunity, not only give the scholarship opportunity from internal, but also facilitating employee that want to chase another scholarship opportunity from outside. And it's being accommodated with, we have that bootcamp program right now, FOSPRO, which is a Ferizyan overseas scholarship program, and also which is like a bootcamp for us to prepare for before we going scholarship degree abroad, and also promoted us. When I learned, for example, in Australia, SDP still give me like all the facilities of the current employee, either that a salary, insurance, and all other benefits. So I cannot really think of, so I don't need to think about how I can avoid that or that, but also that SDP gives the facilitation of not only the preparation, but during the process. And after the process, the company also gives me an opportunity to basically chasing the right position that is suitable with my study. So I think it's like very rare for the company not only give the opportunity of scholarship internal, but also chasing another opportunity and facilitate all the days. I think, yeah, it's basically whole package that ASDP provided to me, and I'm very thankful about it.
And that impacts really well in your current role.
Yeah, I think because we can have a global perspective, the best practices that we don't get previously from the like study in Indonesia or studying like in like executive program or master degree that is we done also while our working. So I think we can more focus and we can get more best practice and international standard.
Okay, I see.
And Qynthara, maybe I have to say that we have clear policies about how employee can be facilitated by the company with many scams of scholarship. They can take a higher education level with their own money, or maybe the internal scholarship from the company, or maybe from the third party that give scholarship, just like Mas Dimas. So I think we have to know, every employee have to know that the policy are access, and it will be translated with the program that will be executed maybe 2025 or another year. But I have to say that it is not only for the employee, that office employee, but also for the seafarer. We're gonna make a seafarer program for their development as well.
Okay, so we're not focusing on the headquarters only, but also all the great Ferezyans out there, right? Okay, interesting. And from your perspective, Miss Evelyn, is Gen Z being too impatient, or do companies need to step up?
Wow, that's a big statement. I don't think we should be sweeping to say all Gen Zs are impatient, but I do think that companies need to step up to think about how do we adapt our policies, our programs, and the way we manage people to adapt to the ways of the Gen Zs. Like it or not, they are going to be, in your case, a big part of the total population of the workforce. How do we communicate to them? In the past, it's by emails, we write long policies. Gen Z today have no patience to read long letters and long emails, right? They want it to be short form. They like video content. They like to consume content in multiple modes. They like storytelling. They like they like short, punchy. So companies do need to step up so that we can engage them in multiple ways. We need to expand the way we think development. Is development only one way? Is progression only one way? Maybe they are looking for more than one way progression. Maybe they're not so interested to take a senior position or the corner office. Maybe they want growth in different ways. They want a say in how things are done. They don't want to just be told. Companies can evolve our leadership style, engage them, hear from them, co-create policies, programs that meet to them, and deliver messages frequently in a way that connects with them. So I think leaders need to be human-centered leadership, show empathy, put ourselves in their shoe, continuous learning, learn the language of the Gen Zs, and just keep being adaptable and flexible.
Okay. Have you seen any great examples of companies that, like let the young generation, young talent?
Totally. I need to share this company. This is a company based in Singapore. They are not a big MNC. This is a company called TC Acoustic, and they sell your Sonos, your Marshall speakers, your earphones, and your headphones. They are 90% Gen Zs, 90%, and they are in Singapore. There's a survey done by our Straits Times national newspaper that survey customers on customer service, and they are top in whole of Singapore when it comes to customer quality of customer service in the retail sector. They beat companies like Apple. They beat companies like all your hotels, and they are number one on my best workplace list in Singapore. 90%, I believe, are all Gen Zs. What do? This is a Gen Z where the leaders empower them to do what they want to do. I remember a story that the CEO told me. The CEO is maybe about my age, in the 40s. Lovely man, and he's asked one day he had a program where they had to launch a new product. Launching a new product, as they can imagine, in the retail sector is a big thing. You will always want to have the leaders and do everything. You know what he did? He said, I want a project team comprising of Gen Zs all underneath who have worked in the company for less than 1 year. All young people, new hire. They form a project team. I want them to be the one to develop a program, the strategy, and to execute the launch of the product. It was a huge success. But what it did for the people was it sent a message that my boss trusts us at such a young age, so new, so junior in the company, to launch such an important product. Because of the trust that they have, the product sold very well. And the customer service was great. Another example you shared was how they have got the young people. There was the customer was buying products online, and the product was faulty. The customer wrote in and said, I need to change, and it will deliver to you. If I don't remember the story wrongly, this customer was traveling a lot and couldn't they couldn't deliver at the point where he's at home. So this staff, the retail staff, Gen Z, said, Sir, when are you coming back to the airport? I said, this day, this time. All right, I'll meet you at the airport. He took the product, drove all the way to the airport, and meet him and exchange the product. Did the boss have a policy like that? No. But this is a Gen Z going the extra mile because he knows that he's valued in the organization.
The initiatives, right?
Yes, and also it facilitates the demand of Gen Z that always have an ownership of what they did.
That's right. So they own it.
Yes, they own it. The ownership is become something that we have to give to them. That will create a room for creativity, how they express themselves, etc., etc.
Yeah. So really, when you harness the Gen Zs, they will surprise you, they will delight you, they'll go the extra mile, and it's such a joy to see that, and they're number one in the customer service survey in Singapore, number one on the best workplace list, and they are doing very, very well, as a business.
Of course, giving trust, right?
Yes.
And I really love those insights, and it's clear that Gen Z is not only looking for like a stable paycheck, but they also look for the other one, like yeah, just like the flexibility, and then the personal growth, as well as the self-worth as well, right? So I think especially BUMN, they also need to adapt with this kind of thing, what Gen Z have, the demand also. And we're gonna get deep into that thing in the third segment. So thank you very much for this segment. We're gonna continue to the next one. All right, we've talked about what Gen Z wants in the workplace and how companies, especially BUMN, have to adapt with that. But let's take it one step further. Like, how can companies build a workplace where young talent doesn't just work, but actually develops and level up their skills? Yeah. Okay. Miss Evelyn, you've seen firsthand how companies create workplace cultures that truly support employees. If a BUMN wants to integrate with those kind of things, like integrate with more innovative or innovative workplace practices, like how do they get started? Like from where?
Yeah, I think we talked about it quite a little bit earlier on, but let me just synthesize and summarize it in this response. I think for a start really is to, I really love your answer earlier on about leaders, how we need to evolve and speak their language. The evolving of a leadership style that's command and control to one that is people first, one that's humans, being human-centered. I think that's one. We talk about purpose being important to them. I think we get better at helping them connect the dots. How does what I do as an individual connect to the larger purpose of the organization? Connecting the dots by telling stories of how your organization, the work that you do, help to build the nation. Storytelling, giving them stories like this, spotlighting individuals, goes a long way. I think that's their second part. The part about conveying how, as an organization, we're not just driven by profits, we're driven by purpose. That's really important. I think it's about being able to involve them as you create changes, whether it's business strategy or we're talking about human resource policies. Let them have a say. Let them feel heard. Involve them, have focus group conversation so that they know that they have a hand in shaping their future and shaping the future of the organization. I think when it comes to development and learning, master's program is great. That's really one great avenue because it shows their value. Perhaps the other way is the world's changing so fast and they need to keep getting, upskilled. Showing that as the organization, we're willing to invest in them to grow and to develop them by giving learning in bite sizes, not just about full-day program. How do we allow them to learn using multimodal approach of bite sizes, video content, short-form content, short text, experiential learning, internship, project work, just a variety of ways to keep them interested and engaged. And I guess it is about addressing the top concerns of Gen Zs. What are the top concerns? Social inequality, economic inequality. How do we address that? Concerns around mental health. How, as we as an organization, care about their mental health, care about their psychological health. What resources do we have for them? I think these are the different ways as we become a lot more intentional and purposeful. Know what's their concern, know what's important to them, involve them in the process of change. That will go a long way to engaging, not just attracting through being Great Place to Work certified, but also keeping the talents in the organization.
So we don't have to the focus is speak their language,
yes.
Right? Putting your shoes in their shoes.
Yeah.
So knowing them, go deeper to know them.
Yeah.
What they need.
Yeah.
And getting the initiatives done in order to fulfill that demand.
Yeah. Right. And if I can say, the one important thing that combines everything that you say is listening to them. They want to feel that you listen to them. Whether is it one-to-one, one in a group, or one-to-many, keep listening to them. Tell them, this is what you say, this is what I've heard. this is what I've done. This, when you say you want this, I've done this. When you say you want that, I cannot do that. This is why I cannot do that. Just keeping that regular cadence of listening, sharing back, listening, sharing back. They feel that, all right, I'm really important to you. So if there's a keyword, keep listening to them.
Keep listening to them because they love to speak up.
That's right.
That's right. Okay. And what's interesting is you say that you've mentioned about like continuous learning. Yeah, and we have here we have Master Tegar here as an HR Development Strategy. How do companies create more opportunities for the continuous learning, and how does that impact the career path for the young talent?
Okay, good question. It is essential to keep in mind that we ask them to invest on themselves. So I think the company also invest on them. So we have to enhance or maybe strengthen the paradigm that the investment will always give us something fruitful. So it is the paradigm that we have to build across the company on the management side, or maybe also in the employee side, that the investment will be give them an opportunity to be better, to grow up. So I think in the policy of this company, we also have a policy that manage the career of the employee, and we also are trying to identifying the talent, the top talent, the best performer employee that follow up by the program that make them even better with the structured program. So I think we prepare the things, the structure program for the development, and also on the career path that they can grow, not only learn on the classroom activity, but also in the work field, because that's the real battlefield, I think. So I think the opportunity for them to grow in the professional side will also support them to be keep motivated in the career pathway that they just.
Exactly. I think because maybe some of them, some of the young generations, they tend to, like get easily demotivated, right? So I think it is how does the HR team need to refresh to them, like regularly, maybe like, I don't know, refresh to them, let them know that, okay, don't worry, you are in a good hand. You're in a good hand. We are thinking about your career path, and just don't worry about that.
Yeah, and talking about the career path, we have to tell them that it is not an I-shaped form. It could be an M shape, which is we have a major expertise in one field, but we have, like you said, we have the first hustle, second hustle, the third hustle, or maybe even we can create a shape of career path like a comb. One expertise, major expertise, but it's also equipped by the sub competencies that we can become the top of mind, that when company needs something, we are remembered as an expert of that field, maybe.
Mas Dimas, career growth is a huge deal for Gen Z, right? And Gen Z, they don't want to feel stuck, right? From your experience, what's the best way for companies to offer real career growth and development opportunities? What worked for you in ASDP?
Okay, thank you, Qynthara. I think for like Master Tegar said before, the career path is not only like straight up, but it can be like on or like something new experience, new expertise. Like during my 7 years of work in the ASDP, I feel grateful that I get not only experience a legal side, but I also have experience on the procurement team. And also what's unique is also my experience to be seconded to the subsidiary. So we call it as a talent mobility. So we can get experience not only on the legal side of a shipping company, our company, but also experience other kind of sector. For example, IFRO. In IFRO, I experience about how we deal or negotiate to our tenant, because IFRO business is mainly like property, how to negotiate, because like it's a very different kind of business and we can learn from it. So like Evelyn said before, it's not only about master degree, not only certification, not only about like classroom process, but also another kind of learning like talent mobility. And also we have, I think one of the program for HR is like Sebar. We have like a short training, 2 hours training every Monday morning in Feris team that we can learn, and all Ferizyan can join that platform and we can learn together about new things. So I think it's a very kind of new experience, including this kind of podcast. It's a way of learning for all Ferizyan that about how do we develop as competencies in our organization.
Oh, and I think it is also they have to know that this is an opportunity. Not only just become the crew, or maybe they can sit here as speakers, main speakers,
Totally.
so they can share
Yes,
something.
totally.
What become the expertise of themselves. I think it is also good to take a note.
Okay, amazing insights. So it sounds like attracting Gen Z is only the beginning, right? The real challenge is keeping them engaged, helping them grow as well, and making sure that they feel like their future, they have the future in the company. Okay, before we close, let's do a quick fire round. If you could give one piece of advice to a Gen Z professional trying to build their career in BUMN, what would it be?
I think first, be patient, because BUMN career path seems like very concise or clear, but I think with kind of specification we have or expertise we have, like Pastor just said, we can be like more be a rocket career rather than our other team, rather other friends in like startup sector or another private sector. So be patient and keep learning and be flexible.
Mas Tegar?
Okay, I think on my point of view, we have to be enthusiastic with everything that come to us. So I think it is important to address every single challenges that we have with the enthusiasm. I think that's the key point.
Be enthusiast. Okay, Ms. Apple.
My word for the Gen Zs is that you are enough. As Gen Zs, many times we compare ourselves with people who are ahead of us, other Gen Zs, the Gen Ys, and on social media, and everyone looks like they are better than us, they got more than us, and you can feel very insecure. But you need to know, as someone who has lived many more decades ahead of you, know that you are enough and things will work out.
Okay, you are enough and things will work out. All right. Wow, what a conversation. We've covered everything from what Gen Z needs. And then also we have to, we've covered as well the how BUMN keep up with that demands with what Gen Z wants. And if there's one thing we've learned today it's that work isn't just about the paycheck anymore. It's about purpose, growth, and finding a place that actually values you and supports you. Big thanks to Evelyn, Mas Tegar, and Mas Dimas for sharing their insights today. This has been such a really fun and eye-opening discussion. And of course, thank you all for tuning in to this podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to share it to all the great Ferizyans out there. Yeah. All right, that's a wrap up. Until next time, thank you very much for joining us today. Bye-bye.